On my last drawing of a cardinal, I wanted to show an embossing technique, and my camera shut off. So I'm just going to explain what I'm doing here. There are embossing tools that you can get, but you don't have to have a tool. I just happened to grab this brush that has an end that's fairly sharp, and that is all you need to score the paper. And here's a couple of chopsticks that also have a pointed end. So anything that's got a pointed end that's a little bit blunt that you can score the paper with, that can be used for where you want white areas, or if you're using a colored paper where you want that to come through and you'd like to get some effects without actually drawing lines or shading, but you just want the paper color to show through. And I found this works out really beautifully for feathers. When you look at photographs of birds, a lot of times the edges of the feathers have a highlight where the light hits them, or where the pigment in the feather is softer. Sometimes there's a pink or a blue, or it's a white, or you can leave white by using the embossing and then go in with a really, really light blue or light lavender just to bring that luminescent quality out. But it also works great for the veins of leaves and for whiskers on cats or dogs, different animals. So I'm just going to show that. I did the same with my eagles, my last eagles, but I didn't explain what I was doing. So if you see me scratching at the paper and nothing showing up, that's the embossing. So I'm going to go ahead and show how we do it, and then I'll put the rest of the video up of the cardinal that I was working on, where I used this throughout the feathers. So here's the end of the brush that I'm going to use to do some embossing, and so let's make some curves here as if I'm doing feathers. Now you can't really see anything probably until I start working over it. You could use any base color depending on the bird that you're drawing. I'm going to use this sort of reddish brown, which is a color I use a lot for the eagles and hawks, and some areas of the cardinal too, where the reds are more muted. So there you can begin to see the form of the feathers coming up using this embossing technique. Now, of course, I'm being a bit messy here because I'm just showing these couple of lines and how that works. Then, of course, you would go in with your other colors if you wanted to shade in different areas of the feathers. And if I use a darker color, then you can see again this white is going to show up even more. Well, hard to keep this in focus while I'm holding the camera, but I wanted to get close enough. So that's the effect for a feather. So maybe I might also like to make a leaf pattern, the seam of a leaf. So anything where you'd want a white line, or if I'm doing whiskers, just something like that. That's the birds in the background, if you're wondering what all the twittering is about. So that's just a rough idea of how you can use this embossing by scoring the paper and then using the color over the top. So this is how I did almost all the feathers on this particular female cardinal that I'm going to show in this video.